Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay? Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We have two amazing guests. So we went over the house rules. You guys know the house rules already. Please be respectful. Please follow the guests. They're amazing. I love them. They are very dear to me. Today's a little bit different. Again, we're going to be going over what is it like having parents and living with disability, right? What do you wish that your parents did differently? So today, we're going to be hearing from the voice, right, of the children that actually lived through it. And I'm a mom, so I definitely want to know, what can I do differently? You know, if I had a child with disability, how can I better myself as a mother? So with that being said, the topic of it is we're going to know their story. Hey, Bill. How did the people in their village help them, or what things do they wish they did differently? Okay. So with that being said, ladies first, right? Ladies first. So please welcome Faith to the building. Faith, come on over. Come on over. The price is right.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Faith. How are you, love? How you doing?
Let me just take this keyboard off.
Oh, she'll be right back, y'all. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, everyone. She'll be right back. You know, she'll be back. Okay, hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, I know you lying, sir. I thought it was Faith. Listen, that was hilarious. I'm waiting for Faith to come. Only the featured guest. That's what I get for not paying attention. I was trying to do everything. Oh. Welcome, everyone, to It Takes a Village with Jess. Today's episode is very special to me. I have two amazing people that are very dear to me. So today we have Faith in here. Faith, you look beautiful.
Thank you.
You look welcome. How you feeling?
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited for this.
Yes. So little story, everyone. Faith was in my pre-runs of my show. So yes. This is her first time back, as it's now a featured show.
I know.
So she was part of my journey making it into a featured show.
Yes, it was a good time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. All right. So everyone that doesn't know, this is Welcome to It Takes a Village with Jess. So I was a 21-year-old mother.
Mm-hmm.
I was 21. Do you have any children, for those that think that this is just a parent show?
No.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about you then. So tell me about your village.
So I grew up, basically, I was born with cerebral palsy due to medical malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents I stopped breathing for 10 minutes and I blew out a lung due to the doctor's negligence. But my parents were just happy to have a kid that was alive and somewhat functioning at the time. And it was just...
So your village then was your mother and your father?
Yes, and it still is, yeah.
Okay. So my village as a parent helping me raise my child throughout my life, it's amazing that it changes, right? So I was a village of one. Mm-hmm. Then as I got sick, then it became my grandmother helping me raise my child. And as I got sick, my parents stepped in and helped me raise my child. So for those who don't know you, Faith, right? Because you don't have a child. People think that my show, It Takes a Village with Jess, is only about parenting. And it's not. It's about actually us growing up and what we can do better as parents. So, what I want you to do is tell people your story and how did the people in your village help you become who you are, the
Yeah.
beautiful, amazing woman that I met, had the pleasure of meeting at Playlist. So the floor
Yeah.
is yours, my love.
Um, so my parents have really shaped who I am, and they put their whole life on hold for me, basically, and they still continuously, selflessly continue to do that.
Mm.
And we have our differences, and um, we we have our difficulties and our challenges, but at the end of the day, my parents help me with all my physical needs, and I hate dependency
Mm.
because my brain and my body don't keep up with each other. So being dependent on someone is not my favorite thing in the world, but it really helps when you have someone who, when you have parents who just love to help you. It's cringy sometimes because I'm like, oh, I don't want help with this. Like, I don't really want help going to the bathroom and stuff, but I need it. So, um, yeah, it's been really interesting. It's gotten a lot, it's gotten a little bit harder now that I've gotten older, um, in terms of like what I want them to do differently.
Mhm.
I would love just to have a little bit of a little bit more freedom, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm 25, and the thing is, I don't want to live with them for the rest of my life. Obviously, I'm 25. I want to go live on my own, and like finding a place to live with all the accessibility needs that I have, um, is very challenging. So right now, I do live with my parents, and I make the best of it, but it's not going to be a forever thing. I can tell you that.
I love that. So for those that, why, so most people are like, why did
I'm
you
on a
pick?
show, Mom.
Yeah.
I'm on the show,
So
remember?
people, a lot of people, welcome everyone to It Takes a Village
Me
with Jess.
too.
We have Faith, and we're going to have Charm
Okay.
Charlie. So most
Nope.
people said, why is this show so important to me? As parents, right? As parents, and everyone knows, sometimes we get questioned as a mother. Your kid might grow up with disabilities,
Yeah.
right? Or we do have children with disabilities.
Yes.
We always hear from the doctors,
Yes.
this can happen,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah. Now, if you're ever faced with, do you want to carry on with the pregnancy? If your kid was going to be stuck with the wheelchair, what is going to be your answer? Mine is always going to be yes, because I have a higher faith, right? Faith. Um, but we never hear, right, what the children go through. So that's why this is so important. So, Faith, for those who don't know, how did you end up in a wheelchair?
So I was fine. There was absolutely nothing wrong with me.
Mhm.
And then I was about 6 days old, and um, we can't prove it, so I'll get to that in a minute. But we can't prove it. But basically, what happened was, um, my parents went out to get dinner, um, because they hadn't eaten all day and they wanted to freshen up and do whatever they do. And obviously, I was a baby, and they got a call from the hospital, and they said, "You need to come now. Something's wrong." And what basically happened was the ventilator was dialed up too high, and I stopped breathing for about 10 minutes and 15 seconds.
Mm.
And not enough oxygen got to my brain in time to tell the neurons that fire and teach you how to walk, they're dead. They're gone. They're non existent. Like, if you saw my brain scan, you would see parts of that part of my brain missing.
So, and that's how she ended up in a wheelchair, y'all. So, welcome to It Takes a Village with Jess. And that is Faith's story. So, Faith, these are little topics that most people don't like to talk about, but I love your transparency. I
Yeah.
love you as a person, right? And I can honestly say that because I got to meet you. So, what do you wish you can tell others, but you usually don't get the chance to, as far as you, who you are as a person, or when people see you,
It's
in a
funny
wheelchair?
because um, I've realized that there's a lack, an extreme lack of education in this world, and it makes me very angry, but it also fuels the fire to educate people more. Because
Mhm.
if I could tell someone something, it would just be come say hi. It's simple. It's it's really it's really that simple. Just come say hi. Just come be a part of my journey. If you want to, please do not stare at me and point and look at me like I'm some alien because I use a mobility aid. It's
Mhm.
not becoming of people. It's really not. And the other thing is, especially with my relationships and stuff, when I have a boyfriend, and when I when I'm with that person, people look at me and they're like, "How did he end up with him?" And I'm like, "It's possible for an ambulatory male to love a person in a wheelchair. It is possible. Interable the relationships happen, and I just want people to know that I'm not some charity case or some
Mhm.
person that is not understanding of what you do around me."
And there you go. There you go. So I think people forget that don't stare, or if you have a question, it's okay to go up and ask, or go say hi. It starts with the simple hi.
How
How
are
are you,
you?
Faith?
Good.
How are you? And I don't ever look at it as a disability, right? You're unique in your own way. Kind of what Hoops taught me. Top Batch Hoops said, "I'm not, I'm not this, I'm not disabled. I'm not different. I'm unique. My
Yeah.
mother raised me to be unique." I love that. So Faith, I love that. So to everybody who's out there, did you heard it from her voice? Is hi. It starts with a simple hi. Don't stare, don't point, don't say anything. Just say hi. It starts with a simple hi, just like anybody else, because you don't know their story. So question. Now, this is another question because sometimes this is me, right? Should we offer help if it looks like you need it, or do you prefer to do it yourself and get your own independence?
I mean, usually I would go with the second, like, don't offer it, especially because I know that if I want to figure something out, I will hell bent on me figuring something out. Um, and that's okay. Like, I'm the type of person to want to be really independent, but I tend to need help. So depending on the person, it's always good to ask, like, "Hey, did you need some help?" Or, "Hey, like, can I hold this door for you?" Just to be nice. I mean, I've wrestled with that for a long time, and being able to say yes, it's okay to help me. I've wrestled with that for a while, but there are kind people in this world that genuinely want to help, so let them.
Exactly. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. We have the amazing Faith in the box, and she's actually going through questions that most people want to know. And so, even as a mother, right, as a parent, not even a mother, as anyone raising a child, um, independence. So now, like you said, so you want, your wish is to eventually be independent.
Mhm.
How does that look like? Like, what do we do as parents, right? What advice do you give parents
Yeah.
to raise the children to be independent? Like, what advice can you give us parents
Yeah.
to prepare some of the children who do have disabilities to become
Now,
independent?
yeah. Um, I was just thinking about that earlier, and like, it's interesting when people become when whatever child it is, when they become older, they're gonna have their voice, no matter in what way, nonverbal, verbal, whatever. They're going to have a way to communicate. And they're
Mhm.
going to tell you, hey, this is what I need in their own way. And I beg of you, please, please, please listen to that.
Mm.
Because if you don't, if you don't, there's so much mental and emotional and just fear from that kid that could happen, of like, hey, I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard. Like, I want, I guarantee you, actually, I know this for a fact, every disabled person that I have ever met has desires and dreams, just like Jess, just like Thick Barbie, just like me, just like Charlie, just like everyone else. And
Mhm.
you have to understand that those dreams and those desires are never going to go away, no matter if you're disabled or not.
I
So,
love that, Faith. I love that. How about what things do you wish your parents would have asked or done differently with you?
um, I really, I really would have loved my parents to not be overprotective as much as they have been. Um, like, just let your kids live in a safe manner and not be so concerned about, I mean, safety is important, obviously. If something happened to me, I'd be a sitting duck and I can't defend myself.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, especially because most of my friends are from this platform,
Okay.
and I want, I if I want to come hang out with someone, it takes a lot of time for my parents to warm up to that idea. And
Yo.
I think it's because my parents grew up in a different time, obviously. And also, I feel like they just, letting go is hard for any parent. And if you need to have a balance of letting go and pulling the reins back. Letting
Yeah,
go and pulling the reins back.
I would have to agree with that. I think too, I would have a hard time, right? Even now, if my son was like, I want to meet somebody online, I'd be like, what? No,
Even
let
from
me
this
talk to
platform?
them.
Even
E-
from this platform?
Yeah, absolutely. Even I'm like that. I'm like that myself with who I'm gonna meet. I have to spend a lot of time with them, like before meeting, because you just never know. I'm very selective, but that's
I'm glad to be in your corner.
and and it's just because you just never know, right? You just never know. And I think I was raised a little bit different, and I can see your parents thing, but I also understand you too, because this is your way for the outside world. This is your way of your friendship. This is your
and
friendship. This
and
is
they're
how.
and they're genuine. And
Yeah,
what I want parents to understand, especially if your child is interested in like meeting people and being in a community, and if they choose to do it online, just talk to them, talk to their
absolutely.
friends, and be willing and be open. I wouldn't have met my boyfriend if it wasn't for this platform, and my parents know him and they appreciate him because
Yeah.
they took time and they want me to be happy. And if you have your kids' best intentions, which I'm sure every parent does, most of the parents I know at least, um all it's going to take is an open mind and an open heart. That's it.
Absolutely. 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 Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. Every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, we have the amazing Faith. So make sure you hit her with a fave. We have our top three gifters. We have Thick Barbie, we have Steph, and we have Afro Latina in the building. Welcome everyone. It's been a long time. So I thank everyone for the faves. I thank everyone for the hearts. I thank you guys in the comments. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you so, so much. Faith, thank you so much. Now, I always say, hi, everyone. There's something that I always tell everyone, right, when they come on my show
Mhm.
is if you knew then what I know now, what is it?
If I knew then what I know now,
What
I
would
would say I would say to parents and to people or children with disabilities, I would say give yourself grace, give yourself patience. Don't be hard
it?
on yourself for not meeting goals and not meeting milestones, and not if your children if your child isn't crawling at the average time, if your child isn't talking at the average time, if they're not doing all the things they're supposed to be doing, it is okay. They will do their own thing at their own pace. It is perfectly okay. And
Absolutely.
like that shouldn't be an issue to the point where it gets that way. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love it. Well, Faith, I appreciate your honesty. I
Mom,
appreciate your story.
Can I
Um,
have an opinion?
okay, that's my mom. She wants to say something.
Hi,
absolutely. Hi, Mom. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually in the middle of cooking, but I thought you were kind of getting an opinion on people. Is that what you're doing? I didn't hear.
No, I ask like for Faith, right? So by the way, you've done an amazing job with your daughter. I got the pleasure of meeting her during playlist. So
Oh, what's your name?
I am Jessica.
Oh, she did talk about you. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So this is a featured show, right, about parenting.
Oh, then you
So
should be talking to me.
I should, right? But since Faith is not a mom, I asked her experience as I asked Faith as an experience growing up with disability and how was it, with you, and she said you guys did an amazing job raising her with disability. Now since mom you're in the box, right? How was it? How hard was it, right? Um Helping Faith, or what were some challenges? What advice would you give to parents going through the same thing that you're going through?
Okay. One thing I'm going to start by saying I have appreciated that there are lovely people like you out there that are watching after my daughter and wanting the best for her. But at the same time, one of the things that us parents have to watch out for, because there's a lot of people that are not as pure as y'all.
Absolutely.
And there in the internet, there's a variety of things. It's like a war zone, and you have to watch out for all the little bombs that go off.
Yep.
And this challenge that we have is to protect our daughter
Mhm.
from the people that would take advantage of her. Let
Absolutely.
it be from gifting.
Uh-huh.
And she has gotten in trouble with that a lot.
Mom, but like what
But
advice would you give them?
but I would advise that to get involved as much as you can, and maybe they call us helicopter parents.
That's all right, because I'm one too. So
Yeah,
trust me.
I had to fight all through her life, from the hospitals to doctor visits to schools to examinations. We fought for everything, And I feel like our battle is not done because we want Faith to live an independent life. We want her to have her own place and we want her to get the care she needs. But honestly, I'm just concerned about some people taking advantage of our children. And
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm just getting teared up.
That's okay. Listen, everyone that comes into my show, we all get teared up. This is, I think, when we talk about our children, right? That's what we do because we're so passionate. That means you're a caring mom. Mom, you've done a great job. And she mentions it. Listen, you are a beautiful mom inside or out. That's what you're supposed to do. And if you're not, then there's something wrong. You're doing a great job.
I am fighting for us, our lives, and her every day.
Yeah, I know.
And it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to keep her safe. I want to keep her safe. I want to make sure she's protected. And I'm concerned. I'm really concerned because she's so pure at heart and so loving.
Oh, yes.
And she trusts everybody. And I cannot tell you how many times she's cried over somebody bullying her or somebody.
Oh, trust me, Mom. I know because I've told people you do that to her. I got you. Faith knows. I've addressed certain people on the app because of Faith. So she has an army behind her.
I
So
appreciate that. And you know what? This is what I want everybody to know, that we're involved family and we're not gonna, it's like Jesus says, he'll leave the 99 to go after the one. And I'm not gonna let her just go willy-nilly anywhere. We protect her. And I've told her that when you meet somebody like yourself that she met at the conference, then you can establish a trust. But otherwise, all these people up there, we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are, and she can't trust them because they say all kinds of stuff, and then, like I said, she's in trouble with giving.
So prior to that though, Mom, too, right? As a mom with children with disability, what other advice or what guidance would you tell them to keep fighting for your children as far as physically? What's hard as well? Like, or what do you guys, how about this, Mom? How do you define?
I know what you're saying. The physical care, is one thing. The emotional care is another thing. Combining it and also having the independence. Like I told Faith we were going to go out for a little bit, and then I asked her if she wanted to come, and she said, well, I have a show until 2. Yeah. And then I said, well, if we waited till 2, would you want to go? And she said yes. So a lot of it is working around, so we compromise a lot.
Yes.
And if it's not detrimental to her life, and if somebody invites her to go to a party or something, we have to know the people.
Yeah. And
it's being involved and an advocate for your child. Absolutely. And it starts really from birth. I mean, you're a mom,
absolutely.
Kids, you're an advocate for your child. If somebody bullies your child at school, you're going to go to school and say, what's up? Yeah. So it's the same. Nothing changes.
Yeah.
Except you have a lot more on you.
Except for it doesn't end, right? And this is what I'm trying to let people know. Like, your job doesn't end, right? You're going to have Faith. You want her to become independent because that's Faith's goal. She mentions it all the time. Like, she wants to be independent. So like us, we know that at 18, like me, I know at 18, my son's going off to college, right? I get that break. You have a consistent 24 hours. And she mentioned that, it gets embarrassing sometimes. Mom and dad are with me all the time because I'm dependent on them. Yes. And that's another part.
We're actively every day I call agencies every day. I talk to places every day. I want to find something for her. Unfortunately, because we don't have a lot of services, and a lot of homes here are not accessible.
And also, I would
I
just like
wasn't
to, I know,
finished.
but I would just like to say, um, if you are struggling to get services for your child at some point in your life, keep
Mhm.
fighting. Like, keep being on their behind
Yeah.
and
Well, you
making
have to be an
sure
advocate all the time.
it doesn't stop. So
Yeah.
you have to do that.
And I got one more question before my next guest comes in because I have Charm Charlie. So, mom, I have one thing. So, what? So, I'm gonna ask this to mom, Faith, since mom's in the box, right? How would you like to be remembered in your child's eyes?
You mean when I'm dead or alive?
It doesn't matter. How would you like to be remembered in your child's eyes?
I want her to remember me as a woman of faith and ethics and love.
Aw, you see that, Faith? And Faith, how do you define home?
Home is when I'm with the people I love, and I'm with everyone I love in this room and on this platform. And I'm very, 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 very grateful for all of you. And also, I have a question for you, Jess.
For me, all right, we gotta go before I put
Oh,
Charm Charlie in.
Okay, I'm gonna say bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
Mom. You're doing a great job. Thank you for being part of my show. Okay,
okay.
what's the question?
If you can define to the best of your ability what walking is like.
If I can define
Or
walking,
in the chat. And if it takes you a minute, come back to me later.
okay, I will answer that right. If I can define walking, I guess my thing would be a little bit different, right? So I would say it would be a blessing for me, right? Just because I had the stroke
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk for a long time. So I forced myself to walk.
Mm-hmm.
If I can define walking, it would be freedom,
Yeah.
liberating,
Yeah.
right? Happiness. Because when I finally put those two, you're gonna make me cry. When I was finally, after being in bedridden and I couldn't move, and I thought I was gonna stay like that for the rest of my life, and I took those first steps with my son, I felt like I can accomplish anything that the world threw at me. So I would
You
say
feel like
finally,
a daddy all the time.
yeah, I would say it was liberating. But at the same time, though, Faith, I started feeling that way too, with half of my body wasn't working because that's what you guys gave me.
Yeah.
So it was weird. I couldn't find it. It took me a long time to find it, but I started finding it in different ways.
Yeah.
So it was weird, right? So we'll get back to it. But thank you so much, Faith, for being
I
part of
love
my
you
show.
so much.
Love
Thank
you
you.
too. And now, y'all, make sure you guys hit Faith with a fave.
I will be live after this, so y'all come.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit her with a fave. All right, y'all.
Love you.
Welcome, Charm Charlie. All right. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess every Sunday at 2 p.m. Hi, Charlie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am emotional. I got a little choked up there a little bit, but I just want to tell everyone, welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. We have Thick Barbie, Steph, and Best Friend as my top three gifters, and we have the amazing Charlie. Charlie, tell everyone before we start, where can they find you?
Where can they find me? You mean like
Yeah.
stream wise or just in general?
Absolutely, stream wise, that doesn't matter. Get
Yeah.
yourself out there.
So you can find me literally anywhere. You can follow me on you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on TikTok, you can find me streaming on here. And a lot of my platforms are Keep Charlie Moving is the name of them. And then I also have my streaming Instagram that focuses on my streaming career on the Meet Me app. And I've been streaming on here for about 2 years, and I stream Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then I have my own featured show on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern time called You've Got
You
a Friend.
do. You do.
That's where you can
Uh,
find me.
he does, y'all. He does. I'm so excited. So, with that being said, make sure you guys hit that fave up there. Make sure you guys hit that fave. Okay. So, welcome everyone again. So, I am Jessica. I'm your host. So, if you're new, make sure you hit that fave button. All right. So, if you guys don't know, I was a mom at 21. So, CharmCharlie, for those that don't know you, do you have any children?
I do not. I have dogs. Does that count? Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, that's you. You are a pet father, absolutely. So, I like to tell everyone, tell me before you get into your story. Tell me a little bit about your village, like who helped raise you as a child up to adulthood.
So my story is a little we've had a big village. My mom, we've had friends. My mom has best friends that helped take care of me like when I was sick or different things. Because my mom, she works, right? And she
Mhm.
works really hard to make sure that we have everything that we need. And I have my aunt, so my parents are divorced. So I have my real dad, I have my stepdad. And so my village, it's a really big village. Like I would say where I live is pretty much my village because I have so many people a part of my village.
I love that. I love that. So, my village is a little bit different, right? So, I always start my village when I became a mother, right?
Mhm.
So, it was just me. Then, as I started working, became a working mom, my grandmother helped raise my son, and as he got older and I got sick because I have lupus, my parents stepped in. So I always tell everybody, as my life, as my parenting years went on, my village changed here and there. So that's interesting. So I guess, it goes on. So, I want to know a little bit about your story. So today's episode is a little bit different. I wanted parents who are dealing with children with disabilities or just anything. I want people to know, like, oh, CharmCharlie is in a wheelchair. Why? Tell me a little bit about his story. What is it growing up with disability? Us as parents, what can we do different? I always love how transparent, how honest you guys are. And thank you so much for being part of my show. I'm so happy and so lucky. So, with that being said, I want to know, how did the people in your village help you, and what things they could have done differently. But before you do that, tell everyone your story, Charlie.
So my story starts when I was 18 months. When I was 18 months, I was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And if you guys are unaware what Duchenne muscular dystrophy is, so basically Duchenne muscular dystrophy is everybody's body produces a protein called dystrophin. And dystrophin is a protein that builds your muscle. And someone with my disability, our bodies do not produce that protein. So basically, what happens over time is the muscles basically turn into fat, and people usually with my disability, their life ends when their heart stops or their lungs stop. But people have been they used to be people living into 18 years old. Now some people, like, it's different for everyone, but people are living up until their 50s now. That's the oldest person living
That's
with.
why we're gonna go for 100 with you. We're going for
Exactly.
100 with you. We're going for the 100. Welcome everyone to Takes a Village with Jess. We have CharmCharlie. He's telling us, his condition. And then we're gonna go into his village, telling us a little bit about his village, his upbringing, with all of that. So the top three gifters of the stream is Mr. Gray. Thank you so much, Thick Barbie and Steph. I appreciate you guys so much. So, and like I said, CharmCharlie's he's gonna break the record. He's going to be the longest one living with this condition. I feel it in my bones.
We break records out here, y'all.
Yeah,
That's
we
what we
breaking
do.
records. You know why? Because I love him. We breaking records. Because he has a village. He has a village.
We got a village. Let's go.
That's right, my love. If you guys don't have him favored, make sure you have him favored. Thank you, everyone. So with that being said, all right, Charlie. So that is what's going on with you medically, right? So
Mhm.
tell us a little bit now with how did the people in your village help you, or what things you did differently, I guess, is tell me, what was it like growing up?
So
Tell me
growing up, it was a very, my mom, she had a lot going on at the time when I was diagnosed. Her mom recently passed away. Then her dad was diagnosed with a heart disease and liver failure. And then my siblings were born. So then after that, my parents got divorced, and then basically what happened from there is we lived with my mom, but then my mom met this guy, his name, and now we live with him now, and we call him dad, and he's been around since I was 4 years old, and he helped me get through school. My parents made sure where we lived that we were getting the best education that we could get in our area.
Mhm.
So they made lots of sacrifices to make sure that we got everything that we needed to get through anything that we wanted. And then basically, also, I told you about earlier that my mom works full
Yeah.
time. And so a lot of her friends, if I need something, they would bring me lunch, they would bring me dinner, they would take care of me when I was sick, so it's really awesome growing up knowing that we built, I guess, our lives around so many different people, and all those people helped us with things that we needed. Like
Yeah.
one time we needed a wheelchair accessible van, and the whole community, we put on a car wash, and we raised enough funds to get that. So growing up in high school is when I really my confidence grew, and that is when I needed the most help in my life because I was progressing with my disease. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I love how you said my confidence grew. So, all right, well, we'll get that. We'll get there. I love that you had a village. Like I can't express to people enough, like it really does take a village. Like I'm a single mother, and growing up, like raising my kid, I wish there was like a village behind me to help me, or oh, you can't take him, I'll take him. Like I don't think people understand what, cuz let me tell you, Charlie, you are one of my favorite people that I've gotten to meet, especially off this app. Like you brighten up a room. Like when I first met you, I saw you talking sports, right? I didn't even know that had a wheelchair, because that's how big. Like I always say I'm 6'4", and y'all don't tell anybody, but I'm not really 6'4". I'm a little bit smaller than 6'4". But in my heart, I'm 6'4". But you, Charlie, like you're like humongous. Like you're huge. Your aura, like you brighten up a room that I can't even notice that you're sitting, or that that you have a wheelchair or whatever. Like that doesn't even cross my mind whatsoever. So for you, Charlie, like you're just everything. you're just you're just so amazing, and I'm so grateful that I got to meet you. So that village really did do something, because you're just amazing. I'm blessed.
That
Anyhow.
that means so much to hear. And like I said, high school is when I my confidence level grew. But I graduated 5 years ago, and we run into people all the time, and they're like, oh, "It's you're Charlie," and then they say like from the school I was from, and I'm like, "You know me?" And they're like, "Yeah, I'm so and so," and they're like, "Wait, you know who I am?" Like it's things like that, and but it's so cool that people remember me from high school. That is, I made sure that I made people know who I was.
That
It's awesome.
and that's amazing. So I guess what it is too, you weren't, and right, as a mother, and I'm gonna speak as a mom, right, Charlie, because our age difference is different. As a mother to a boy, right, to a young man, as a mother, my goal raising my child is that he has confidence, right?
Hmm.
Everything that they do, everything that he wears, since he was a little boy, I'm like, do you feel confident in that, boo? Are you comfortable? Do you have confidence? Do you feel secure? And he's like, yeah, mom. Or sometimes I'm like, what are you wearing? And he looks at me, he's like, mom, I'm confident in this. I feel confident as a man. I feel confident. And I can't say anything when he tells me that. You know why? Because that's all I want him to do as a man, is be confident. So Charlie, your parents or your village did a great job, or you did a great job adapting to that, because that's all we want, for you to have that confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I love it.
exactly. And a lot of time what happens in this generation is
Mhm.
people are followers. So people are like, "Oh, look at that style. I want to be like him." And then everyone has the same exact style. And growing and going through school, we had to teach that to my brother, that he wanted everything. He wanted the most expensive shoes. He wanted everything everyone else had. And we're like, my parents were like, "No, you can't have that." And we're like, and he's like, "Why?" And he's like, "We want you to be yourself, right? To wear what you want to wear. Don't wear something just because someone else is wearing it." And he eventually understood that, and now he is on his own, and it's amazing seeing them
So I'm
blossom.
gonna ask you a tough question, right? So with somebody who is what they would consider disabled, or having a disability. I don't want to say disabled, because I don't like the word disabled, but having a disability.
Mhm.
How do you gain that confidence? Because there are some, Charlie, and and I know both, that fall in a deep hole and get depressed, and don't have that confidence. I guess is where what made it click? Like, how do you have this confidence in you that you just shine? I guess is, what advice can you give others to become more like you, or
Yeah.
what?
So in high school, I definitely felt the confidence building. But then, to be honest, when I found live streaming, my confidence grew so much because I would talk to people and they'll be like, someone would come to my stream and they'll be like, "Are I see someone's like, are you in a wheelchair?" I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" And they're like, "Your headrest?" And I was like, "My headrest?" And they're like, "Yeah, I have a disability too." And then I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "There's people on here that have disabilities like me." And then I realized that I would share people what my disability is. And they're like, "Yeah, is it like cerebral palsy or anything like that?" Because a lot of people know what cerebral palsy is, right? But with
Mhm.
my disability, a lot of people don't know what Duchenne's is. And so I figured out that how about if no one else is willing to be really open about their disability or whatever, I was like, well, then I'm going to come on here and be confident and share my story with people and push people to be yourself, to keep moving forwards. And I feel like it's important to educate people. It's important to share your story with people. And it's just all those different things that help. me be so confident who I am. And like I said, my village helped me out too. I've had connections with people. I've connected with people from all over the world, from the same community, from the DMD community, which was what we call Duchenne muscular dystrophy
Yeah.
community. If you meet more people like me, I don't know what it is, but it's people with Duchenne's that they will brighten your day. And I don't know why, but it seems that we all do it. Like I hear it so much.
Yeah, well, I love it. I love it. So now I have some questions just like I asked Faith, okay?
Mhm.
What do you wish you can tell others but you usually don't get the chance?
What I want to tell others, but I don't usually get the chance, is that sometimes I always feel like having a disability, you get talked down to, right? Instead of having a face to face conversation like we're having right now. A lot
Mhm.
of people are like, hey, like I heard you guys, we were talking about this earlier. I heard you guys talking about it,
Yeah.
about that we just want people to come up and say hi to you. But it's also the way you say hi, you could be like, hi, or some people are like, hi, how are you doing today? It's like, just
Exactly.
talk to me like you're talking to your boss. I don't know, like you're talking to your friend. Just talk to them like that. Don't talk down to us, because not everyone with a disability has a which is when you have a physical disability, it doesn't always mean that you have a mental disability. All disabilities are different, and that's what a lot of people put them all in the same category. And that's something that I love to tell people, and I don't get to tell people a lot because I don't want to bring people down,
Mhm.
and it's just, but it's something that I just want people to know because it's happened to me a few times, and I just feel like I'm still a child. I feel like I'm not a grown adult when people talk
Absolutely.
down to me.
I think people forget that too. Um just say hi or say hi, get to know them. I think, like I always say, Hoops really opened up my eyes. Top Badge Hoops,
Hmm.
he really said there's nothing other than I'm unique. And Faith always said, stop what you're doing and say hi. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. We have Charm Charlie in the building. We already spoke to Faith. Um, so we are just talking about life, right? With disability, raising children, and speaking with the children that actually went through it and what advice they can give us as parents as well. Now, I guess just like I asked Faith, if you need help, should we offer, or should the parents offer, or do you guys want to learn to do it on your own? Like, what advice do you give the parents and other strangers?
So you don't always have to assume that we need help, right? If you see someone struggling with a disability, you don't always have to be like, "Hey, do you need help?" If they say no, like don't keep being like, "Oh, let me help you." When we say that we don't want it,
Like
we
Granny would do. Here,
exactly.
no, I'm gonna help you.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta let them know, you gotta be
Exactly.
straight up with them. And
Here, let me help you, child. No, I got it.
yeah, exactly. Well, so it just depends. And sometimes my mom, like, I'll be like, and then sometimes I'm like, yeah, I can't do it. And I'm like, can you help me? But but my mom, she always lets me try to do something before she tries helping me,
Yeah.
because sometimes she knows that I'm going to struggle with it. But so sometimes she waits until I am like, I need help, because I never want to give up. A lot of people with my disability, to be honest, a lot of people, their your feet turn sideways, right? If you don't wear shoes after from
Yeah.
not
Oh, yeah.
walking.
Yeah. I
And
went
so
through it with my stroke.
yeah, so I wear shoes every single day, even though I don't walk. And what happens, like I go to the doctor and they're like, how are your ankles so straight? And I'm like, well, because I make it I make it so I wear shoes every single day. I don't care if I'm not walking. People are like, I'm not walking. I don't need to wear shoes. But you know what? Shoes help with so much. And, there's so many. I could go on and on and on and on about this
And
because
that's why you guys need to favorite him. So that way, if you are a parent, if you are going through something, Charlie can school you or guide you on where to go. So now I have something to ask you. What things do you wish your parents would have asked or done differently?
wait, can you say it one last time?
Okay, that's okay. What things do you wish your parents would ask or have done differently?
Done differently. Um, a lot of sometimes I feel like that my parents would tell me more about what my disability was and what it could do in the long run. I wish they told me sooner. But at the end of the day, I'm glad they told me, and I know that how scary it is. But just having a disability, knowing that it might end one day. But you know what? With anyone, it can happen to anyone, right? That's why I take each day at a time. You never know. That's why we do it every single day. What you wake up and you'd be like, hey, let's do this today, and go and do it, because you never know. It might be the last chance that you'll have to be able to do that. So just live each day like there's no tomorrow. Isn't that saying?
Exactly, exactly. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. Shout out to my top 3 gifters. Thank you guys for coming through. Please be respectful. Thank you to my bouncers. Thank you, Charlie, so much. Thank you everyone for coming in. Now, we're getting deep, right? We're asking what could our parents, and that one kind of hit me, Charlie. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. As a mother, right, raising my child in the beginning, right, I'm going to be so vulnerable with you. And I'm going to use a different experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because a parent can use things differently. So I remember my grandmother passing away and my son still being young, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone said, "Are you bringing your child to the funeral?" And I said, I don't think I am, because I come from a Latino background, right? I'm Puerto Rican, and funerals are very like traumatic. Growing up, it was like screaming, people jumping, like it was so traumatic. Even me as an adult, it's traumatic, right? I was like, I don't think so. My son is too young to remember. I don't think I want my kid to, he's just learning that life is starting, right? My son's just learning that life is just beginning. It's beautiful. I don't want him knowing that there's going to be an end, and that's the ending so traumatic, seeing something so troubling. Like I didn't want it. And it's crazy because watching like The Lion King or like The Circle of Life, and he's like, hey mom, did you know that life is blah 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 and it comes to a full end? And I was like, absolutely, baby. And that's when I got to show him that death is part of life. But at that moment I wasn't ready to show him that, right? I'm like, nah, it's not. And everyone's like, you're wrong. And I'm sad, but you're not the parent. You can't tell me what I want my kid to know, because you're not going to be there while my kid is crying. You're not going to be there to pick up the broken pieces. So you're not there. You don't live in my household. So you're not going to tell me how my kid is going to react. So with that being said, Charlie, I don't know how you're, with you in your case, I don't know if I can tell my kid, hey, you have this disability. And by the way, the one that lives the longest is 50 years old. You know what I mean? Not at that age. I don't think I could, because I want you to fight and keep living. But now as an adult, I can see you saying, nah, because of who you are. You're like, nah, I want to live my life to the fullest. Right?
Exactly.
But do you feel, right? And this is a parent, right? Asking you and the child answering. Do you feel if your parents would have told you that as a younger self, do you think that you would have took that information as good as you did now?
Well, I guess, well, being younger, I guess I wouldn't really have understood what it all meant. But
Exactly.
I guess if you think about it in another perspective, I
Mhm.
guess you can also wait to see if like they come and ask you. I think that's how I learned about it, because I was like, "Mom," like she got nervous when in school we had to learn about muscular dystrophy, right? In
Mhm.
class. And my mom, when I said, "Mom, guess what I'm learning? Guess what I'm learning in science?" And I said muscular dystrophy, my mom's face was like,
Oh.
"You're talking about what?" And I was like, "Muscular dystrophy." And then my teacher, my she had a conversation with my mom
Mhm.
about that topic that time, and my mom was like, don't ask me, ask Charlie, see if he is open to talking about that.
Yeah.
She didn't make that decision herself.
Mhm.
She and Yeah, so she didn't make that decision herself. And when I got to learn about it and I asked her all these questions about it,
Yeah.
then I was like, really? That can happen? But then you can see I still have a smile on my face. I still push forward,
Absolutely.
because
Absolutely.
like I said, everything will be okay, right? That's my sign.
Absolutely. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Just, and we have the amazing Charm Charlie. Make sure you guys follow him. He has a featured show. He's just amazing, and he is just, make sure you guys hit him with a follow. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, and like you just said though, I think that was a perfect way of learning. Is you learned it. All right, you ready? You want to know? And that's how I do it with my son. Like, I teach him what I believe he needs to know. I never lie. Our communication skill is amazing, but I don't tell him like the negative stuff. I don't tell him right away. But when he's ready, he'll be like, "Hey, mom, I'm ready to talk about this." All right, you want to learn it from me or somebody else? No, mom, always from you. So, yeah.
What it
So,
sounds like
definitely.
is that you have a close relationship with your son, like I do with my mom. Like
Very.
me and my mom are so close. We even gave ourselves British names. So every morning we talk to each other in a British accent.
Exactly.
And she told me today, we were talking to someone, and she said that I've helped her get through her life, because she looks at me and sees all the things that I do, and she's like, if you can do it, then if she says if I can do it, then she's like, then I can do it too,
Yeah.
that's the mindset she goes in
It,
with.
it really is. Like I say all the time, I don't think if you guys are not parents, right? So you're speaking from the kids' perspective, right? On my show. I think if you guys are not parents, you guys as a mother, right? And I'm telling you guys, my son saved my life. He is the love of my life. As to why I got the show to It Takes a Village with Jess, like you guys will never understand if you have, whether it's your parent or not, there is somebody close to you enough that is a parent figure, whether it's your grandparents, whether it's somebody dear, whether you're the figure, you change somebody's life regardless. So Charlie, you're special. When I say you're special, you have to be. You know why? Because I see it every time that I battle you when we talk. You are special and there has to be a reason. And so if you change our life, I can only imagine to the person who gets to wake up to you every single day, because I think of that with my son. As to who I am as a person, how I conduct myself, that's because I'm a mother first. And I say that to everybody. Everybody who knows me as a streamer knows that I'm a mom first, and that's the way I conduct
Mhm.
myself. So,
Well,
fun fact.
that's the way it should be.
That's,
That's what I feel like. Like
that's
the other day, me and Jessica, she was sitting in her car for like like we were battling for like hours, and she would like not hours, but like an hour maybe.
an hour.
Some guy comes driving by, and he rolls the window down and says, "Are you all right? You've been here for a while."
I'm like, yeah, I'm just battling Charlie. I'm just battling my friend.
It was awesome.
Yeah, we just had karaoke. So welcome everyone to Takes a Village with Jess. Um, and please stay by because I have a special event with Smurfy literally 10 minutes after my show, and I'm gonna give thanks to a streamer since it is Thanksgiving. So please stay around for that. All right. Now, Charlie, if you were to be a parent or adopt, right? This is very, very, with everything you experience, how do you envision yourself as a parent? Or what would you do differently compared to your parents?
I wouldn't do anything different than what my parents did. Like I said, they made sacrifices, made sure that we got the best education that we could, and be the most successful in life. And what my parents always told me, and what I learned from them, is they're hard workers, right? They are really good at their jobs. They climb their way up. Like they never give up and keep chasing their dreams. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm chasing my dreams. I'm sharing my story. I'm being open. And that's what I would want to teach my kids, that be open about who you are. Don't hide who you are. People are going to judge you, but those people, why those people judge you? Because they're jealous of you. That's why they do it.
Boom!
Let's go. Preach it.
Hold on. Let's do mic drop.
Mic drop,
drop.
baby. Woo. We love that
We got
mic.
Charlie in the building.
Yeah, no, we gotta say period after that one.
Period, poo. All right. So, Charlie, two more questions, then I will let you be, right? Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village with Jess. Make sure you guys hit the fave up here, the little star button, the follow, and make sure you guys follow CharmCharlie. He is amazing. If you knew then what you know now, what would it be?
Be confident. I know I've been saying this a lot, but literally that's it. That's the first thing that comes to my head, is be confident. Because I used to be afraid to be who I was. And then I realized I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to inspire people. And here we are every day inspiring people.
Every day. I love that. Okay. And how do you define home?
Home? I define home is, I guess, where your family lives, where freedom is, you can let your emotions out. It's literally, home is what you make it, I guess. You can make it a negative place, you can make it a positive place, but at the end of the day, it's somewhere where you can be yourself, you can have your own thoughts and everything. You can make your house your own. You could have your own stream room, you have your own bedroom, you can literally have anything. And that's what I think home is. Home doesn't even have to be like a big house. It could be like your stream could be your home. You're like, this is where I want to be, and I'm gonna stay here and share my story. So home can be so many different definitions. That is a good question, but I can't even have I guess one answer to that, because home can be so many different things.
Exactly. And that's what I say. Home for me is wherever my son is, y'all. Wherever my son is, that's home for me. So
I love that.
That is. Welcome everyone to It Takes a Village. Shout out to my top 3 gifters. We got Mr. Gray, we have Steph, and Thick Barbie. I appreciate you guys so much. We have CharmCharlie. All right. And so every time I leave, my show, I always do a affirmation. Right? The affirmation of the week is, sometimes when things are falling apart, they might actually be falling into place.
Whoa, I love that one. Oh my gosh. Because
you like that one?
These freak me out, not gonna lie. Every time I hear one, like I'm thinking in my head, oh my gosh, that is exactly what's happening right now in my life.
Yeah.
It's really
And me
amazing
too.
whoever writes these. Who
Yeah.
writes
And me
these?
too.
I want to be them.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys so much for being part of It Takes a Village with Jess. Like I said, if you guys ever want to be part of my show, make sure you guys hit the fave. Make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram. Um, I'm just blessed. Seriously, I'm blessed that you guys were here. Charlie, I hope that you enjoyed being part of my show. I appreciate you. I